One of Cain's descendants was Lamech. The name Lamech in Hebrew means strong, powerful. Lamech, the seventh human generation, was a powerful person. Having two wives, he practiced polygamy. Thus, polygamy began in the city of Enoch in the land of Nod, which means wandering. Lamech practiced polygamy in order to fulfill his lust. Polygamy is a violation of the natural law ordained by God for man's existence. Marriage is necessary for human existence. However, marriage must be limited according to the principle of one wife for one husband. This principle was ordained by God to maintain human existence. Lamech was the first to break the divine principle in marriage. The first of his two wives was named Ada, which means adornment. She was one who adorned and beautified herself. Ada was a wife of adornment. By having these two wives, Lamech's lust was exposed. One day Lamech boasted to his wives, and Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. Lamech was even more arrogant than his forefather Cain, boasting that he had slain a man for wounding him and had killed a young man for hurting him. Thus Lamech was not only a polygamist, but was a murderer and an arrogant boaster. By reading this short portion of the word, we can see how dreadful was the first human culture, a culture without God. All these evil things must have occurred in the city of Enoch built by Cain. This may be called the city life, which was as evil as the life in the big cities today. Inventing cattle raising for making a living. Ada, Lamech's first wife, bore Jabal and Jubal. Jabal was the father of cattle raising. He invented cattle raising for the purpose of making a living. He became a nomad, wandering from place to place because he had no land that would yield to him its strength. No one in the United States is willing to be nomad because the land in this country is very fertile. Thus, there is no need for anyone here to be a nomad. However, Jabal found that the land would not yield its strength to him. This forced him to be a wanderer and to keep cattle that he might make a living. The matter of making a living for oneself is a main aspect of man's culture. The city was invented for man's existence, and cattle raising was invented for man's living. Inventing music for amusement. Jubal invented music. He invented harps and pipes. In fact, the very name Jubal means jubilee or a joyful sound or music. What is music? Music is a type of amusement which makes people joyful. Why does man need such amusement? Because he has lost God as his joy. God is man's true enjoyment. A number of times in the past, when my friends invited me to attend the movies with them, I say to them, I don't need that. I have something much better than your movie. I don't even need to watch television, for I have a heavenly television. Everything in the New Jerusalem has been televised to me. I can never forget an experience I had when visiting the city of Houston. A friend was taking me on a tour of the city. However, I told him, as long as I have seen the New Jerusalem, I don't need to see any earthly city. I am not speaking nonsense. I really mean it. One day in year 1937, I was preaching the gospel in the capital city of Nanking. It was a good time of preaching, and the gospel was prevailing. After one of the meetings, a smart young lady dressed in a very worldly and fashionable way came to me and said, Mr. Lee, I have been convinced by your preaching. I would even decide to believe in your Jesus. But this decision depends upon one thing. I am a lover of the theater. Tell me, after becoming a Christian, Will I still be allowed to attend the theater? That question bothered me a great deal. I realized that she was convinced and that she was willing to believe in the Lord Jesus. However, if I answered her question in a negative way, she would not decide for the Lord. Nevertheless, as a gospel preacher, how could I answer her in the affirmative? As I was considering the way to answer her, I looked to the Lord for a wise reply, and He gave me one. I said to this young lady, "You have your young son with you. Suppose that one day he plays with a sharp knife, and you feel that it is dangerous for him to do this. How would you deal with him? Would you force him to drop the knife, or would you grab the knife out of his hand?" She said, "No, I will simply throw some candies or apples on the floor. I'm sure that he would drop the knife and pick up the candies and apples. The knife would be gone because his hands would be filled with better things." Then I said, "It's exactly the same with you in attending the theater. If you will take Jesus, He will fill you up and you will have no capacity for anything else." She said, "Marvelous, I will believe." Then I told her, "You must do it now." She replied, "Yes, I will do it now. I believe in the Lord Jesus." She was saved. Why do people attend the movies and go dancing? Because they are empty. They do not have God as their joy. The reason I do not attend the movies is not because the church has a regulation against it. The church does not have a list of commandments against such things. However, although there is no such prohibition, I will not attend a movie even if you paid me thousands of dollars to do it. I have something better. I am filled with Christ and I have no capacity for anything else. Juba invented music because at that time man was empty. He was in vanity and nothing could satisfy him. Since nothing could amuse him, he had to devise some amusement for himself. The principle is the same with every kind of entertainment today. People need entertainment because they do not have God. Some of you are familiar with the story of the Welsh revival, which occurred approximately 70 years ago. During that time, in the whole island of Wales, all the theatres and amusement places were closed because all the people were saved. They had something better than worldly entertainment. They had Christ.